Hi, this is a little informational video I put together to help you choose the right midwife for you. So if you're in a state like Arizona, the midwives here have already been tested and licensed and educated. So if you're in a state that has a similar program, then obviously you're not really asking so many questions about the midwife's training, as opposed to how you would in a state where midwifery is illegal. Then you would probably have more detailed questions about the midwife's background and how she got her training. So again, that's not going to be the focus of this particular little video. The focus of this video, once you have a list of midwives in your area, is to really focus on personality and figure out who is going to be the best attendant at your birth for you and for your baby and for your family. And when there's a list of midwives in front of you, it can be kind of overwhelming, but it's actually a good thing. So if you have a list of people, midwives in your town that others have used, please call around, email them, interview a bunch of midwives. Don't just interview one and go with her. Even if you absolutely love her, you'll love her even more once you interview around and make sure she's really the right fit for you. So going into the interview, remember that you're interviewing her not just for her skill, although that's really important, but her personality. So you just want to engage in casual conversation, see how she reacts, see how she answers your questions, see what kind of information she offers you, and see what really feels right. This is the person that will be caring for you for the next 10 months, who will be one of the first ones to be around your baby. It will become an intimate part of your family ideally, so you really want to pick the right person. So I've come up with a few questions you can ask. Again, you're going to really take into consideration just the general banter, the general conversation that you have with this woman. See how your personalities fit. She could answer all the questions correctly. You could get all the answers you want to hear, but something just doesn't feel right. Really go with your gut feeling and know that hopefully the midwife on the other side is doing just that too, so that you both are looking for a perfect match. It's not just, at least speaking for myself, not just another client, another pregnant woman, another birth. It's really looking for a right match so that the midwife as well feels like she can really work with you. So she may very well have her questions for you too, which is why you should first think through a little bit about what kind of birth you want. Not that you'll necessarily get it, because birth is, a natural kind of imperfect thing a lot of the time. Although well designed, we just have to know what we have as an ideal in our heads. We might not get it, but what do you see? When you close your eyes and you picture your baby coming into this world, what do you see? What do you see the people around you doing? How do you see them helping? What do you see? Because you really need to bring that vision to these interviews. And feel free to ask these questions to the midwives that you meet. Say, I have the idea that, at my birth, everybody's really going to be hands-off. I want my husband to catch the baby, and just kind of see how she reacts and what she offers to that. On the flip side, if you're looking for somebody that's really involved, maybe you've had a past bad experience with birth, maybe it's your first baby and you want a lot of hands-on, then you need to vocalize that as well. And hopefully the midwife will let you know if that's her style of practice. So if you say, I really need somebody hands-on, my last birth was really hard and I needed help through every contraction, a lot of midwives might say, that's great. I've been trained as a doula as well. I'm used to doing that. And then another midwife might say, you know what, I may be able to help you, but I'm generally a little bit more hands-off than that. So you just kind of have to judge her style of practice with what you need and what you want in a birth. Remembering that what you need and what you want is the most important thing. You're looking for a midwife to match that. The midwife isn't looking for you to match her style of practice, and she probably is pretty flexible. But there are some ideals that we all have as people that are hard to change. So don't try and change her, just look around for something that suits you the best. Again, express your thoughts, desires, and needs about the birth and what you see her role as. Kind of the same question you might have already asked. but ask her too, what do you see as your role at a birth? And just see what she says and see how it feels and how it fits with what you think. So, you know, she might say, well, I really feel my role is to protect the baby and protect the mother and do anything I need to do to make sure that she stays home. Well, that's great, but if you're not a home birth at all costs kind of person, that might not be the right fit for you. You know, on the other hand, if she says, well, I really go with the mom, anything you want, I'll try and do. I do have certain guidelines that keep me within the safe little box of practice, and I will honor those as much as I can, then again, that might be a good fit for you. Her philosophy on birth and how it meets with your own, we've talked a little bit about that already. So just get a feel for it. Does she feel that women need a midwife or need somebody there because birth isn't really safe and she's gonna be ready to solve a problem? Or do you get the feeling that birth is really natural and wonderful, but sometimes things come up and she's trained to just kind of go with the flow and walk with you and that kind of thing? So there's lots of philosophies out there, although all midwives offer a pretty natural range of care compared to a doctor. But, you know, philosophies differ. So just, again, be clear on what you think you need and what you want and go into the interview with that. And if you're not that clear yet, then that's okay too. You can ask more questions and just get a feel for her personality and see if that's going to work for you. Think about what kind of personality is actually going to work for you. You might not have to consciously think about that. You'll just get to the interview and know, okay, that one was way too bossy for me, or, you know, I really like how she sat back and listened. Just note the different things of her personality that you like or don't like or can work with or can't work with, and you'll find somebody if you notice these traits and how they differ between all the midwives. Lastly, logistical questions are great. I know that they're always going to come up and I welcome them. So questions about finances, how many births per month that midwife does she have a backup midwife? Here in Arizona, we practice independently, meaning midwives work with midwives or midwives work alone. We don't work with doctors, although we may have access to them. So different questions that you can ask about how your care will progress and what will happen if somehow you get outside the low risk category, what would happen to your care with that midwife. So again, that's a little bunch of tips on how you can find the right midwife for you. Again, it's a really, really personal thing, so there isn't a perfect how-to. Just use your intuition and see what her personality is and see how it fits with your own and with your partners or your families, and see if you can imagine her being at your birth. And she will do the same, and hopefully you'll find a great team. Thanks.